You can't. I said we are the best business YouTube channel in this country. Ask him. When I interviewed the first lady that they brought to me, I told him I'm the Oprah Winfrey of business interviews.
First episode.
First episode. We're at
Is
30,000
that
subscribers.
faith or confidence or arrogance?
It's the truth.
Jeez.
And let me tell you, remember, every single person that has achieved something has got a certain level of conviction for it.
Of course.
Now, people can interpret it however way they want to interpret it. You'll never achieve anything if you don't think much about yourself. Some say it's narcissism. I don't know. Minapela English is not my first language. Right? Whatever descriptions you give it. I said to my ex-wife when I was writing the book, I said to her, when I write this book, it must be a bestseller. I'm not in the business of doing things that fail. I'm not interested in writing a book that nobody's going to read. If Witness Mdaka writes it, people must read it. It must be a bestseller. Finish and clear, no negotiations. Now, whatever you believe about yourself, now going back to what we were talking about, human beings are consistent with who they believe they are. Now we're talking psychology now. And we're talking standards.
Personal identity.
Personal identity, psychology, standards. There are people you'll never date, no matter how much money they have. You know that?
I'm aware.
Because you've put a certain standard. There's a way of thinking you want to allow yourself. Now, I said human beings are consistent with who they believe they are. Right now, right? And we talked about cultures. And you're asking, what is the ethos of It's More Than Just Man? A guide to escaping the rat race and building generational wealth. There's a certain way a man who's building generational wealth thinks. See, when you ask me, girl, like I asked him, would you buy a Ferrari? And he says no. His thinking is not on consuming today. Some of the portfolios he's building, he'll never get to enjoy. He's doing it for the next generation. He doesn't want his kids to beg from your kids' pay. He's intentional. Other people are happy for their kids to beg from other people. Now, the ethos of It's More Than Just Money is, if you can build a business, let me tell you, my daughter will never lack a job. It's not pride. She'll never lack it. You know why? If my daughter walked into a room 20 years from today and the people that are here had capacity to employ her, they will employ her simply by being Witness Mdaka's daughter. That's the power of building for the next generation. Now, I didn't say money or whatever. I just said, if you've built something that has impacted somebody's life. Let me tell you, if my surname was Mandela, I would have monetized that name. I saw an article, was it an article or a video where they said the house is dilapidated, the kids can't afford. That name has got power, that name alone. Would you not give Mandela's daughter a tender? You
probably won't think much about it.
Yeah, but even if you don't give him, they'll get you fired. They're that powerful.
Yeah.
That name carries so much weight, but there are people who have that name that are not using it, and I'm not judging them. I'm saying if they were to give it to me, I would PR the hell out of that name. My statue would be next to the Queen there in England. Because life is a PR game. And you can never talk much about what you've achieved. In an interview, tell me, why do they say, tell us about yourself?
They want to hear the narrative of your story.
Okay, what if you get there and say, I'm humble, I haven't done much?
That's fine. That's how you want to be perceived, but it does nothing.
Are you going to get the job?
No, of course not.
I'm humble. I don't like talking about myself. Isn't it? Because people say, why do you talk about yourself? How will you know what I do if I don't talk about myself? How will you know what I'm capable of achieving if I'm not talking about myself? How are you going to know I can write the book in 2 months?
You have to say it.
I have to, and I did. It's a fact. And it's a best-selling book. It's a fact. And it's changing people's lives. They're buying properties. They're getting... It's a fact. You can call me a motivational speaker. You can call me... The results disagree with you. It's a fact. Now, a lot of people don't want to do that for themselves. And I know humility must come in. I don't know. Now I'm not humble. And I'm not interested in being a good man. I'm interested in being kind. I'm not nice, but I'm kind. Because a lot of us are trapped in niceness and goodness. And that in and of itself is arrogant. Who told you you're good? You're good. How do you know? Because the reason why some people will end up impressing even the people that they're not supposed to be impressing at the cost of their children is the fact that they want to be perceived as good people. You want to be perceived as a person, you're pleasing everybody.
Yeah.
Because you want to be called a good person. So, Subshap, you are the narcissist if that's the case. Because why can't you just be yourself and authentic? I mean, there are things, if you ask me, I can't give you, man. Simple as that. Why? I've got my own dreams, I've got my own vision, I've got a kid that I must pave the way for. Now, you said there's frustration in my voice. I did tell you it pains me when I see black people poor.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know why, but it does. Why? Because we're all equals on earth, man. All of us. But some are more equal than others.
Of course.
Animal farm, isn't it?
Yeah.
But all of us essentially have got the same creator. But some seem asleep more than others. And some are more creative than others. You know, Dean said you must forget the 20-year plan. He said you guys must forget the 20-year plan. For instance, hey, white people plan, Lona. They plan. Is that true or not? They plan. They plan for the next 50, 60. So, let me tell you this. At the Jewish Achievers Award, now I was blown away, guys. So, before he invited me, I'm sitting with Howie. And he says to me, Nati Kirsch, one of the South African billionaires, not billionaires in rands, in dollars, probably richer than Johan Rupert or on the same level, but quiet billionaire. He says to me, he bought the Perth, is it Perth? The city, the airport, Perth Airport in Australia. He bought it. One man bought an airport.
Yeah.
He was 80 years old when he bought it. Then he said to Howie, I've got a 50-year plan to develop this airport. Now it's an 80-year-old. An 80-year-old is saying, I've got a 50-year plan to develop this airport. So he's saying, my acquisition is going to outlive me. I'm 80, I could be enjoying, but I'm going to purchase an airport. And we've got a plan to develop this area around the airport for the next 50 years.
Can't happen without a plan.
Why would it happen without a plan? What have you ever achieved without a plan?